this? Okay. Okay. Hello. This is my experience with my first 24-hour mountain bike race. The 24 hours of Moab. Figured I'd do a video while I'm still fresh, in my mind. It's been almost a week, or did it last weekend, and Saturday and Sunday, and it's Thursday now, so yeah. It was fun. As far as the training goes, it was a 2010 24 hours of Moab, and I got 16th out of it. As far as training goes, it was bike touring. I was in shape before. I lifted weights and I gained weight from 160 to 190 pounds because I was going to do this kayak trip that my friend flaked on me, and I got addicted to some computer project, so I didn't really do any exercise for 2 months, and then I did a marathon, but I only made it 13 miles. And then I came home. In March, I rode like maybe a dozen times or something, and then I rode Europe. I biked through Europe, from like Amsterdam down to Athens and back up to the northern tip of Norway and back down to Amsterdam. I took the train for some of it though, like from Bulgaria to Helsinki. I took the train and the bus because I was taking too much time in cities and stuff. But anyways, so that was the training that I did for it to get in shape. Managed to drop, I don't know how many miles that was, maybe 10,000 or something. My computers kept breaking, so. But basically, that was my training. So I was in shape. But the last time I really rode was like the 10th of September, and the race was like the 9th of September. So I had like a month of not real riding, with the exception of 5 days of cruising around Amsterdam, and then I went on like 3 mountain bike rides like 2 weeks before the race, checking out the course and stuff, figuring out my lines and stuff. But then my frame cracked, and so I couldn't ride anymore. I had a backup bike, but it had no suspension. I wasn't really motivated, so I just went into town and just spent the week and a half like painting my road bike rainbow colors because it was rusted. So then my family came down and did the tour, the crew for me, and they came down on Friday. And by the time they came down, I was completely fresh. The 3 days of mountain biking that I did on the course killed me. It actually made me sick for 3 days, where I couldn't even do anything for 3 days, because I was on a 26-inch, hardtail, 13-year-old bike, and which is I found difficult on that course because it would get stuck in the sand, and then I would get stuck in the rocks. And I went mountain biking with some guy who went down there, Michael Cook from Austin, who was doing it on a team, and he had a 29-inch full suspension bike, and he's like, dude, you gotta get one of these. These are way better. They roll so much better. And I could tell that I was beating him on the technical, but then he would like zoom by me on the flats and stuff and through the sand pits. So I was like, all right. So I went into town and I reserved a bike to race at a full suspension 29-inch Santa Cruz Tallboy medium size. And I'm so glad that I did that. That made it a million times easier. So yeah, those guys said something about the guys at the bike shop were like giving me pointers on like what to bring, like as far as how many cartridges and tubes and stuff. And they're like, yeah, so if you do 10 laps, that's 150 miles, so that's a lot of like opportunity to get a flat and stuff. So when my family were like, how many laps do you think you can do, I was like, I guess 10, because that's what the people at the bike shop said. But in my mind, I was going to shoot for 13 or 14. Just because that's what like the strongest girl does, and I figured I could do about like that. And so my mom came and she got a hotel for us. And she did some light treatment on me, on this like really expensive like light thing where she put it over my stomach and my legs, and it made me groggy. I had been having like really bad insomnia for a few days up to that, so I was kind of worried. But that made me kind of groggy, and then she gave me 4 Benadryls. So that made me groggy, and I managed to sleep that night, which was a major bonus. If you ever do a 24-hour race solo, you've got to sleep like a baby the night before, even if it means taking a half dozen sleeping pills. Because even if you're totally groggy when the race starts because of the sleeping pills, all that matters is you slept. Because even if you're totally groggy, the adrenaline's going to override that grogginess. Because we got up at like 7, and then I had like, what did I have for breakfast? They had free waffles at the Apache hotel that we stayed at, and I had like a couple cups of coffee. I had like 3 waffles, a thing of yogurt, 2 apples, and then as the race was getting closer, maybe out of nervousness or just out of trying to be extra safe, I downed like 3 gels, and one even as close as like 20 minutes before it, and I was popping those emergency electrolytes. I had like 2 of them or something. And so we all lined up for the race, and the adrenaline started pumping in my blood, like no matter how hard just for me, environment, the adrenaline just started pumping, and then the gun went off, and it's this big Lehman-style start where you run like 150 meters up around this tree and then back to the bike. And I was running as fast as I possibly could, and I was still like the 100th person to get to the bike. I mean, people were running so fast. But one reason that I wasn't running as fast as I could and everybody's running past me was because I hadn't gotten any exercise for like 2 weeks before that. So like I was kind of out of I was rusty. Because I got on my bike like the night before I rented the bike, and I rode my bike as hard as I could down the block just to see if I was strong, and I could tell that my leg speed had gone bye-bye, and also I felt like that feeling of where you get the burn all over your body and then you get like out of breath really quickly, like you're out of shape. So that it had been long enough for me to, so maybe that's why I just wasn't able to run that fast. But it didn't even matter anyways, because you're supposed to, pace yourself. But then I got on the bike and I rode. I could see like the guys in the front of the pack, like up there, like a quarter mile ahead of me, like in a pack, like going down the dirt road, like it's a road race or something. And I was kind of like, sort of, I guess you could call it a bunch of straggler guys, like not really forming a group or anything. But I was kind of drafting off some dude a little bit, but I could barely kind of hang on to him. My leg speed was gone. And then I was going up the hill, and then I went down this downhill, and at the exact same place where I crashed 11 years ago, because I did this race as part of a team. They invited me at the last minute in '99, and they had me go first, and I crashed at this turn, this sharp right turn, on the sandy turn. And anyway, right there, my bag falls off because I had my brother take all the stuff out of the bag that the guys at the bike shop gave me and put it into my own bag because it was really big and it could hold like 3 tubes, because the guys at the bike shop were like, "Yo, man, you're going to need like 3 tubes." So I put that back on, I noticed that the strap that holds it to the seat post was broken, so it was just kind of dangling there, and I was just like crossing my fingers. And actually, when I was going downhill, I was kind of like pinching it with my legs across the back of the seat, just kind of like, don't fall off again, bag. But it didn't that lap. But I was riding the lap, and I felt good. I felt kind of sluggish, though, because my legs were kind of like, leg speed had gone away for the first time, actually, in my whole bike tour, because that was like the longest that I haven't ridden. I took like a week off in Athens, a week off in Albania, a week and a half off in Norway. But other than that, I basically would ride like 3 days and then take two days off, like in Europe, when I hit the capital cities and stuff. But I felt sluggish also because my stomach was like bloated, because I realized I had eaten like a lot, but it didn't bother me. I figured that was kind of cool because it meant that I would have extra energy for later, and it would also force me to pace myself. So I went there, and I went down, I passed through, and then I got back to my pit. And I took the bag off, and I was like, and they had it, and I was like, man, you guys got to change this to the other bag, and I just left it there. I was just kind of put it up to chances that I wouldn't get a flat, and I gave him my water bottle. My strategy was to bring a water bottle the first lap that was like 3/4 full, and I made sure to drink all of it on the first lap. And then they gave me a Camelback as I passed through on the first lap. And so then I did my second lap, and I felt good, but I didn't feel like I had any like leg speed, and and all these people started passing me. And then like at the end of the technical section, this girl zooms by me. And then she gets stuck because she took the wrong line and like makes me stop. She's like, "Oops, sorry," and then she like gets off, and then she just zooms off. Just this like 5-foot tall girl, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And then I did that lap, and then I did the next lap. Okay, so yeah, my first lap was 116, my second lap was 121, and then I did the third lap, and I'm starting to like gradually like start to get slower. And I think I didn't eat anything on my first lap. Maybe I had one gel. And then my second, I had like 2 gels. And then like starting my third, I started like making it a point to like eat gels. Because like my general rule of thumb from bike touring is that I would have like a really big breakfast and then ride. And then like after either 40 miles or after like 2.5 hours of riding, I would be ready to eat again. So it's kind of the same kind of a situation. And so I was kind of trying to eat like 4 or 5 gels every single lap, which is like 400 or 500 calories. I did a lap with this guy, Michael, who's a trainer and has it all figured out. When he has this computer that has it all figured out based on his heart rate, his age, his weight, his VO2 max, and his like fat percentage and like everything, figure out how much like calories he did. And he looked at his computer and was like, "Oh, I did 1,350 calories." And he was 165 pounds, so he's like 10 pounds lighter than me. And so anyways, I figured I would be doing maybe 1,400 calories or something like that, 1,450 calories, 1,500 calories or something like that a lap. So that's definitely not enough to, I mean, that means you're going to have, those little packets are 100 calories each. So that means you're going to have to eat like 15 packets a lap, but you can't do that. Your stomach can't handle that. And you would be going off of reserves anyway. I think I read like 6 months ago, I have the book here, I should look at it again, that your body has like 15 to 20,000 calories of reserves, of like starting reserves, for fresh in your legs or whatever, or in your whole body. But I think I'm like kind of a big guy. I'm 176 pounds, so maybe I have more than that. So anyways, and then you would eat a little bit at the meal. So yeah, you just basically eat as much as you can. But yeah, and then on my third lap, on the kind of towards the end of the last climb, the first girl passes me. The first girl soloist passes me. Yari Kirkland. Yari Kirkland. I should remember to pronounce words the whole way before I start the next word. I could recognize her because she's on, look from the pictures on the internet, and then she was on a Scott bike. And she like, looking forward without even looking over, she's just like, "Good job, 19, and just goes ahead. So I guess that's what she does when she passes guys. But and then on my 4th lap, on the downhill, like 3/4 of the way through, we're gonna go to second part video.